Most landscape photographers don't move during the middle of the day. The middle of the day is for naps, Netflix, and at the most, location scouting. But if we've learned anything on this Faroe Islands trip, it's that beggars can't be choosers. When the rain, fog, hail, and wind breaks, even in the middle of the day, you shoot. Because you don't know when your next chance is gonna be. What a change from literally 15 minutes ago. We were smashed by fog all night last night, all day yesterday, and then literally until we just came around this bend, and now there's blue cloud up there. It's supposed to get miserable again. Don't get me wrong, it's supposed to get really rainy tonight, but we're gonna make the most of today regardless of the weather. The fog is really hard to shoot in. Weather like this, even with rain, you can definitely get shot. So we're feeling good. I'm standing in sun on the Faroe Islands, and we're off to a good start today. We found a beautiful scene with lots of blue cloud and looking down the fjord, and I'm just gonna jump the barrier because I've got my camera set up back that way with a 10-stop ND at f11 for 30 seconds, and I'm gonna get Mike to push the shutter, but I'm just gonna walk down to the edge of the fjord because with a wide-angle image like this, it's almost impossible to get scale. Everything kind of just looks flatter, so by putting myself in this frame, you can see how big the image is, and I think that's something super important. There is lots of long lens shots here too, so after I get this shot, or Mike shoots the shot, I'm gonna switch on a long lens. I've decided I'm going to put the names of these places today on in the description of this video because I can't pronounce any of them. This might be called Gjogv, and it's this really cool town, and actually we came here the other night and sat here at midnight and waited for light and didn't get it. It rained on us, but there's all these really cool houses in there. The village is really cool, and actually this is the first place we've seen a lot of tourists so far. It is the weekend now, and the weather's nice, so I guess they've kind of flocked here, but there's a bunch of tourists walking that way. So yeah, there's a hiking trail up there to a viewpoint back of the village. It looks like the weather's about to come in, so we're gonna race up the hill and hopefully get a shot before that happens. This location is fantastic as well. This is really good. We're up above town now, and I'm working on 2 images. I just shot the first. The first was a pano. I went 5 images across with a vertical setup, and I just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I could get the town and the sea in the frame. But it might be a bit too much. It might be a bit too wide, which will make everything look a little bit too flat. So I've also done a simpler photo where I've just got this, I guess this is like the boat launch of the harbor in town that leads straight into the houses. And the moody clouds in the back, and then there's the church off on the left side of the frame, and it's all coming out really cool. I've got a slightly long exposure on, 6 seconds, f16. I've got a 6-stop ND and a 4-stop medium grad ND just to make sure I definitely get all this moodiness in the sky. That being said, as I'm talking, the wind and I think the rain is coming in, so we're gonna probably bail on this location now and maybe go into town, and I probably won't talk, I'll just show you around. This is what happens when you have a day like we had yesterday where we just didn't get the shoot really because the weather was terrible. Even when the light's not great and we're getting rained a little bit, we're shooting. So Fossa is over there, which is the biggest waterfall I think on the Faroe Islands. Really hazy, but we're just getting shots. We're just snapping a couple of quick little shots here and then gonna move on. The forecast is for the weather to come in really, really hard fairly soon, so we're making hay while the sun shines, or well, at least it doesn't pour. So I'm surprised. We're still shooting. It's 9 p.m. and I just stepped in sheep poo. I'm not surprised I stepped in sheep poo though. There's so much sheep poo in the Faroe Islands. I'm surprised we're still shooting because the weather was supposed to get nasty, and it's raining and it's not great, but it's shootable. And that makes me really happy. We're at a place that I don't know the name of, but I'll put them in the description. There's a black sand beach that way where people surf, but we came up the road and there's this massive cliff and these two sea stacks in there. And I watched on a video by Mads Peter Iverson that those sea stacks are like 200 feet, like 70 meters or so. So those cliff edges must be close to 1,000 feet, which is incredible. So I'm gonna bust out a long lens, a 6-stop ND, and a 3-stop soft grad ND, and hopefully keep my lens dry enough to get a shot of this, because it is impressive. My 6-stop filter just shattered. It slipped out of my hand and landed right on the road and shattered. I don't think that there's another, or there's a camera shop somewhere on the Faroes that sells it, so I'm gonna have to make do with a 10-stop the rest of the trip. That sucks, but we'll deal with it. We will deal with it. Cracked my 6-stop, stepped in sheep poo. Definitely not my favorite moment from this trip, but I am still really happy that we're out shooting and actually able to make some images, even if the light's not amazing, even if we're kind of getting hammered by rain, even if I'm breaking filters. So it's now, I think, 9 p.m. and I want to try to find a sunset location, but I don't think we're gonna get any sort of sunset tonight. So we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna jump back in the car and head for a bit of a drive. It's 2 in the morning and the weather's nasty. We planned to do night shift on this trip just because we wanted to shoot both sunrise and sunset. And when sunset's at basically midnight and sunrise is at 3, it just makes sense to stay up throughout it. But we haven't had the chance to shoot a sunrise yet because every night we're just getting hammered by this weather. But I looked at the forecast just now and it looks like it might be at least decent-ish at that iconic waterfall. So we're gonna make an attempt at shooting that again. So we tried, but it's windy and rainy and foggy. There's definitely no shot happening this morning. And then the forecast changed to say that it's not gonna start clearing until later in the morning, like 5. So we tried. Bit of a failed effort, but at least we tried. And at the end today we thought was gonna be a wash. Today we thought we weren't gonna get any photos at all, and we ended up getting some shots. So I'm actually pretty happy with today. Even though we didn't get epic light at any time, even though we didn't get sunset or sunrise light, it was a good day. And we're gonna go back now, get some sleep, and then we're gonna get at it tomorrow. Tomorrow the weather's supposed to be better, but again, I'll believe that when I see it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.